Ykelia, welcome to Consciously Create Studios.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. So,
Thank you for having me.
oh, no doubt, no doubt. you are our sixth viewer. So we growing, you helping us grow.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So I know you from, or you've told me you know me from Douglasville.
I do.
Douglasville, Georgia.
I do.
This is interesting because you like the third, fourth person I done had to come on here, you know, from Douglasville. So let me know that Douglasville is up and coming with talent, entrepreneurs, business-minded people. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yes, it is. Very beautiful.
So describe your experience growing up in Douglasville for you. Like, how was that experience?
Culture shock. Coming from Southwest Atlanta, like where it was just mostly us. It was like when I moved to Douglasville, that was the first time that I had actually seen different people. That's what I'll say. I was young, so it was easy for me to adjust. My dad bought us a house out there, so you know we moved from Southwest Atlanta and we moved to Douglasville. For me, it was easy. For my brother, it was not, because he was in high school. So, you know, it was like his last year of high school. So it was not easy for him, but for me, it was easy. Meeting new people, doing new things, finding new adventures, finding new personalities, you know. So, I mean, I wouldn't take anything back. Like, I really enjoyed growing up there.
Yeah.
I did. When we moved out there, you know, I had a good experience.
Yeah.
I can definitely say I had a good experience.
That's what's up, though, because I can say the same thing.
Yeah, like I don't really, you know, like I don't really know, nothing was wrong with it. You know, like I had a great experience.
Okay, so would you say that living in Douglasville, has it had any influence with your hair skills?
Yes and no. Since I started doing hair at a very, very young age, I started in third grade. So I started in third grade. I used to go to school every day, take my hair down after my mama did my hair, and I got a whooping every day. Every single day. Yeah. But I did not care because I wasn't wearing my hair like that. I was like, no, I'm not wearing my hair like that. I don't care. And I'm getting a whooping when I get home. Great. You know, like great. I already knew what to expect.
Yourself,
exactly. So, you know, like for me doing my own hair and other people seeing me doing what I did to other people's hair and seeing what I did to people's hair in my neighborhood and people's hair, like my cousin's hair, it was like, oh, can you do my hair? And from there, you know, like, I guess I kind of went with the culture. Like what people were wearing, I was learning. You know, like back then people were wearing mostly braids, dreads. They were starting their dreads. They were starting locks. So I was doing a lot of locks. I was doing a lot of braiding. I started out doing a lot of that. So I would say that it did influence me a little bit. It kind of made me feel like, oh, I can do this and I can make money from it for real, you know. And I really liked doing it. So at first I wasn't even charging anybody. I was just doing it just doing it. And you know, my mama was like, I mean, you need to at least be charging $10. You know, you gotta charge something for your time. And so, I mean, as I grew, it got better, you know, like, so I would definitely say Douglasville had a big impact on what I was doing just because I got a lot of support there, you know, like it was a lot of support from my community and it wasn't a lot of us back then, but it was enough.
It was enough.
It was enough.
Yeah.
It was
People
enough.
saw what you were doing.
Yeah, it was enough.
They saw that passion.
Yeah,
so I can tell right now, like you were a student of the game. Like you studied, you were on top of, okay, this is relevant. This is what people are wearing. Let me learn how to do this.
Exactly.
That's dedication.
And you know, back then it was no Instagram.
Right.
It was no Twitter.
Right.
It was no Facebook. Like I don't even think it was no MySpace. It was no Black Planet. All that stuff that we, you know, like all that stuff that we eventually grew into, it was none of that. So it was strictly word of mouth. Like it was strictly like me doing someone's hair and they like, who did your hair? And they'll say, oh, this girl named Ykelia. And at the time, I'm 10 years old, you know, 10, 11 years old. And they like, oh, that little girl did your hair? And they're like, yeah, like that's who was doing it. So from there, I just grew. And it just, you know, it just got bigger. I guess I've always seen it getting this big, but it just took off.
Just took off.
Yes,
Yeah.
it took off.
It's only a matter of time though.
Yeah, it is.
Like you said, you was at the stage, you was doing this at a stage where it was just word of mouth. So you had to connect with people.
Yes.
You had to be able to, you couldn't just sell. You had to really be able to change lives and inspire.
You had to kind of make people like you. And I don't want to say like make people like you, because I feel like me as a person, I just like good energy. I just have a good spirit. Like I connect with a lot of different people. I have a lot of different associates. I have a lot of different friends. I have so many different clients, you know, like, and I just kind of connect with all of them on a personal level. Yeah. And I guess I would say I'm an introvert, extrovert. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I when I'm not working, I like to be alone. Yeah. I might listen to jazz or something like that, but you know, when I meet people, I'm very talkative, like, you know, like, especially when I'm working, I'm very talkative, I'm very, like, open, I'm very, you know, I read a lot of body language, you know, like, I read people. That's what I would say that I'm good at, so.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I can definitely tell that, because, you're working with people's heads all day, so you have to know how to influence people.
You do, because, you know, you soak energy from people, you get what I'm saying? So, it's like, you definitely have to be at one with yourself before you do stuff like that, because you're taking on different vibrations and just different people, you know, and they're coming from different backgrounds and they having different struggles. You just never know what is going on. So, you know, protect yourself first so you can give off that positive energy. And, you know, as they're getting their hair done or they're coming and getting the service, it's like, you know, it makes them feel better about themselves. Yeah, like, you know, that's how I feel about it. That's real. That's how I look at life. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
I feel it. It's sort of like a psychologist with your hands.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Big facts. Okay, so my next question would be, because you said you started charging money. When did you start charging? Like, can you remember that time frame?
When my mama was like getting on me. My mama was like, listen.
Okay, I'll rephrase the question. I would say, when did you start taking this into, okay, this is a business?
Okay, so I would say maybe like 4th grade. Like I said, you know, 2nd and 3rd grade, I got whoopings every day until I got in 3rd grade, and my mom was like, you gotta do your hair by yourself. I keep sending you to school with your hair done. You come home, you take it out. It's nothing that I can do for you anymore. Basically, that's what she said. It's nothing that I can do for you anymore. So it kind of got like, well, my auntie's calling me asking me to do my cousin's hair. My cousin's calling. Oh, this guy want me to do his hair. He wanted, you know, like all that started happening. My mom was like, okay, so what are you charging him? I'm like, charging? Nothing. You know, like, I'm doing this for fun.
Just do this.
Yeah, and she's like, no. Do you know people make money from that? And you know, for me, it's like I was just doing it because I liked it. Like I loved it actually. So it wasn't a job for me. Yeah. So I would say after when my mom said, "Did you have to do your hair by yourself?" 3rd grade, I would say. Like 4th grade, I started taking it serious. I was like, okay, you know, like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna charge my auntie this, but to do a little couple braids across Dallas hair, and it was like the kids and not kids, well, we all were kids. Yeah. The boys in the neighborhood would be like, you think you could braid my hair, man? You think you can twist my hair real quick? And I was like, yeah, I got you. So, you know, just from there, it just grew into a business out of my mom and my daddy house from the basement. Like people was coming to my house and I was just doing their hair. Wow. Yeah.
That's lit.
That's just where it started. Yeah.
So now you got your own sweet salon.
Yes, I do.
Lit.
And it's been 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Describe that journey. What challenges did you face when getting to that salon stage?
Let's see. None. Let me not say that. You know, I've had my personal challenges and I've had my business challenges. Before I got into my salon, I worked at a salon for about 5 or 6 years. Even before that, when I graduated high school, actually hair is pretty much the only job I've ever had. I've never really worked.
That's your calling.
I've never. That's why I'm like, you know, now that I'm thinking back, I've never really worked a real job. My first job I ever had was Six Flags. Everybody was working at Six Flags for the summer. It was like adult summer camp, but I would get off work and I would go do hair. After work, I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this person hair. I'm gonna do this person hair. So I was still making my money on the side. From there, I graduated high school. I attended Chattahoochee Tech. So, but I finished in a salon with an apprenticeship. So I worked up under a stylist and I did an apprenticeship. I would say for me, so I did that because I needed to make money, you know, and I already kind of knew.
Oh, so it was a paid apprenticeship?
Yes, it was a paid apprenticeship. It was like, you know, you would still, the stylist that I was working under, like if she would go out of town, because she was a celebrity stylist. Yeah. If she would go out of town or something, I would take on her clients. And even before her, like I said, when I graduated high school, I worked at 2 salons it was a salon suites, like what I'm in now. Yeah. And it was 2 different stylists that I assisted for. And from there, that's how I got into natural hair. They did no relaxers, they did none of that. They did no weaves, they did extension services, nothing. They only did cuts, color, natural hair. So that was like 18, you know, straight out the door. From there, I was working with them, but I was also going to school. Yeah. But it began to, like, my job was more demanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, my assistant position was more demanding, but I was making the money, but I was also learning. So it was like, kind of had to make a decision, you know? Like, so I made that decision, and I quit school. You know, like I finished my semester, you know, I quit school. I mean, a lot of people don't know that about me, but I quit. I quit school. I went into the salon and I did my apprenticeship. I learned everything that I needed to learn. I did my hours. I did cutting, coloring. I did the difficult clients. I did the kid clients. I did everything. So I would say my most difficult challenge to getting to this point was building my clientele. When I got in the actual salon, when I got to the point where I wasn't an apprentice anymore, where I had to get into my own chair and I had to build my clientele. Yeah, I had the clientele, but you know, when those real bills start rolling in and you're doing commission or you're doing booth rent, it's like, dang, you know, I got to make money to live, pay my booth rent, and you know, and just live my life. It was definitely challenging at first because you know how it is. You know, when you walk into a new salon or something, or you go into a barbershop and it's like, who can cut my hair? And it's the new boy over here, and you and it's like, oh, I really don't want to go to him, but everybody like, you know what I'm saying? I see that. How long he been here? And you know, it's kind of like, how long she been doing nails? Right. She knew. I ain't never seen her before. Like, you know, so it was a matter of I got my shot. Like, so like I said, I was working with 2 other stylists, and I went over and I started working with a celebrity stylist. So I worked with her for about 5 to 6 years. She had a salon on South Cobb Drive. A lot of people know me from Keep It Natural on South Cobb Drive. I worked there with her 5 to 6 years. I was her personal assistant. I was her assistant, like braiding down, everything. She did weave. She did the other side. Like I said, the 2 people that I worked for previously, they didn't do that. So she introduced me to the weaving and, you know, just the natural techniques of adding extensions into your hair. So I was her personal assistant. And I was her hair assistant, what she would call it, a co-stylist. So I was a co-stylist. Once I finished all my hours and everything, it was like, okay, Ykelia, you know, I done taught you everything I know. I done seen you work your magic. I done seen you do my clients when I'm out of town. This is your station. This is what it's gonna be.
That's what's up.
And you know, we just gonna go from there. And I think I was 20. And when she did that. Wow. I'm now 30. So I think I was 20 when she did that. Because like I said, I came straight out of high school, went to school, but I was still assisting. You know, so I came straight out of high school and went straight into the salon. Straight in there. And even in high school, I took cosmetology all 4 years. I took cosmetology 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. My cosmetology teacher was actually my homeroom teacher. Like 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So, you know, I took cosmetology. It was. I mean, that's what it was. I
got a couple questions out of that.
Okay.
So my first question would be, when did you know? Okay, because you was working with your apprentice, you said for about 5 years.
Yes, the stylist. I was
right after that. You went straight to your salon. You got your salon right after that.
No, I didn't get my salon right after that. Like I said, I was assisting under her, and after I did everything that I could do, you know, under her, she kind of had a mindset where it's like, you know, someone had to teach me, and I taught you. Someone had to push me out there, so I need to push you out there. I'm gonna be here for whatever you need. I'm not just gonna just put you out on the street, but it's time to grow. Basically, it's time to grow. So I did that in my first year. Like I said, you know, building clientele, it was tricky, just sitting in the salon all day, hoping to have somebody walk in, hoping that they like their hair. You know, you're still nervous at that point because you're still beginning, you know, like even though I had did it for all these years, it was still like, okay, now you got real clients, you know, like now it's like the pressure is on. So I worked there. I got my clientele built like a year in. I worked with her for about 4 or 5 years at the salon. So I worked at Keep It Natural for, I want to say, from 19, or was it 20 to 25. I worked at Keep It Natural Salon from 20 to 25. By the time I turned 25 and I was there, and you know, you know, you just get a feeling where it's like, okay, it's time to grow. You know, like I was comfortable. I wasn't uncomfortable. And you know, when you're too comfortable, it's like, you know, it's no growth. You get stuck in your ways. And it just got to the point where it was like, you know, I love that salon. Like I love everything about it, but it was kind of like, okay, now you have to go to the next level. You know, everybody has to go to their next level. So, I don't know. I went searching. You know, I had let the owner know, like, hey, I'm kind of looking for me, you know, somewhere else to go. I didn't like leave her all of a sudden, but I did let her know, like, hey, I'm looking for, you know, it's no bad blood, no beef or nothing, but I'm looking for somewhere else to go. You know, this is the point in my career where I need to grow, and you know, I'm feeling too comfortable. I'm so comfortable here with you that now I need to go off, and I have the feeling of being uncomfortable. Like I want to feel that feeling of being uncomfortable, you know, because I know what comes after being uncomfortable. You know, like I know what comes up after being uncomfortable. So I would say I rode around. You know, a couple of my colleagues, they would say, "Oh yeah, go check this place out. Go check this place out." I had a friend who did lashes, and she was in the salon suites that I'm in now. So she was like, yeah, girl, you know, come over, see what they have going on. Like, you know, it's very clean there. They keep it kept, you know, they keep it well kept. Like, it's your business. You'll love it. And like I said previously, before I worked in that salon, I worked with 2 stylists, 2 assistants, and they were in salon suites like that. So it was, they both had their own individual business, but they were in salon suites. So I had already experienced that, and then I went into the bigger salon where it's, you know, booths, like where it's just stylists. So I had worked that. So it was just time for me to go off on my own. I went and I set up a meeting with Colette, that's the owner of the studios, and I just told her, you know, like, I'm looking to get out there on my own. She asked me, can I have my own clientele? And at that time, I'm like, yes, because that's the type of place where it's not really based off walk-ins. You have to have clientele because it's kind of like an office building. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know where you're going. You know, like it's not really built off walk-ins. Like I do still get walk-ins, but it's mostly just clientele that I've built like solely on word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I went and I told her like I was looking for a suite, and she was like, yeah, well, we don't have anything available right now, but I can put you on a waiting list. I was like, okay, cool. So she put me on a waiting list. Literally maybe 3 weeks later, she sends, it had to be a mass text message, but she sends a text message and she's like, you know, hey, we have a suite available. And I'm guessing how they did it, they sent it to all the people who were on the waiting list, and whoever comes first, that's just how it was. I immediately text her back because I didn't care what I had going on, what my finances looked like. I knew it was time to grow. I was like, I want to come look at it today. I went there. We set up a meeting for like 3 o'clock. I went. She showed me the suite. At the time, the suite was being occupied by a nail technician, and she bought her building, so she was opening up a building. So the lady let me go in her suite, and she kind of like showed me around or everything, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely interested. So she told me what I had to do. I came up with the deposit, you know, like that day. I gave it to her, and that's just where we've been since then. Like, you know, July 25th. That's now it's 5 years.
That's right, anniversary's coming up.
So this month we'll make 5 years. So if it's 2021, that was 2016. Yeah, 2016. I started work there July 25th, 2016.
Wow.
Yes.
Inspiring for real.
Yeah,
you
that's
took
what I
that
did.
leap. You had to take that leap. It was uncomfortable, like you said. But
it was very uncomfortable.
You gotta fall in love with adversity.
It was very uncomfortable. Even when I graduated high school, you know, I live in Douglasville, so the hair salon that I was working at is on South Kyle Drive. So, you know, it's like a 25, 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
So after me working there, maybe, because I assisted for her maybe 2 years out of that 5. So I'll say altogether, out of that 5, I assisted for her after 2 years. So after the second year, it was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna have to move closer, you know. So it got to the point where I had to become uncomfortable again. I had to move. So I moved when I was 20 from my mom's. I moved into my own apartment, and you know, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. You know, like I had my apartment, I had the car.
Yeah.
I just had everything I wanted. I was assisting, I was making money. You know, like it's just, you know, the thing. I was uncomfortable at first, but you know, repetition. Once you start doing things so many times, once you start paying your bills so many times, once you get used to going to work and used to getting your oil changed and used to doing this and used to doing that, you know, it's like, okay, you figure out a way. You figure out a way to make it work. Yeah, it's like you figure out a way to make it work, but you also have to stay positive about it and just think good thoughts so things will come to you. So definitely that was my challenge, just staying
mindset.
Yes, mindset basically. I had a friend, and he used to tell me, like, Ykelia, you're not thinking straight. You're not thinking correctly. You're not thinking correctly. And I used to be like, what do you mean? Marcus, I'm not thinking correctly. He's like, you're just not thinking correctly. And I really started to listen to what he was saying, so I started to do my research on it. And I just know that the way you think can just change your whole perspective on life and just how things happen for you and bringing it into fruition, you know? So that was, you know, that was me. That's what I did. Yeah. Like, so I just really I just knew I was gonna do hair. You know, I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I knew I was gonna do hair. I knew I was gonna stay in this apartment. I knew I was gonna keep driving the car that I had. You know, like I knew that I was gonna just be still. You know, like I was still gonna have and do what I wanted to do. And that's exactly what I did. And from there, now I'm in my suite, and I love it. My clients love it.
Right.
So, and that's where we are now.
Definitely. That's a hell of a story. Right
Yeah.
Up to where you are right now. That's inspiring.
And I just turned 30 in January.
Really?
Yeah. So,
I'm related.
Thank you. So I'm like always before 30. Like I guess I visioned my life like this, but you know, you never envision how it's gonna go. You know, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. That's what I would say. So the journey was amazing.
Well,
I wouldn't change anything for it. Nothing. Nothing.
That's a fact. Okay. So now let's jump into the skill, the actual skill set. So I heard you say in that when you were talking about your story that you learned about the natural and healthy aspects of hair. So is that something you use as far as those techniques? Is that something that you use in your salon?
Yes, all day. Like
nice.
Now I don't offer anything, any chemicals, anything. The only chemical that I would say that I do is color. I only do natural hair. Like my hair salon, I would say it's a natural hair. It's a natural experience. You know, it's a healthy hair care experience. I do everything really. You know, I don't do any locks or anything like that, but I take care of your natural hair, from twisting it, from pressing it out. If you want it trimmed, if you want to do flexi rod sets, anything that you want to do, that's what I specialize in. When you come into my salon, you'll know that your hair is taken care of. You know, like I put love into it. Just like with anything that you do, if you don't like to do it, it's gonna show. It's not gonna come. If you cook this and you don't want to cook it, it's like, oh, she didn't want to cook that. Like,
that's real.
Yeah, like she didn't want to do that. So I feel as far as skills, it definitely has to be in you, not on you. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be something that you really want to do, that you really want to take the time out, and you really care, you know, like you care how it's going to come out, you care how the hair feels, or you care how it's going to look, or when she goes, or when your client leaves, how they're going to feel, how they're going to react, you know, like it's definitely an expression. Like hair is an expression. That's what I feel.
It's art.
Yeah, like that is definitely art. So like I said, as far as skill, it has to be in you, not on you. It's got to be something that you were just born with.
Facts. Definitely true. So, what set you apart from the rest of the hair salons around here? Why do people need to come choose you?
People need to come and choose me because I'm me.
Hey, that's real.
Yeah, I'm me. You know, like it's an experience. Like I say, you know, you can go anywhere and get the same results, or well, you can. No two things are like, I'll say that, but you can go to someone else and just get your hair done, or you can come to me and have an experience. You know, like when people come to me, I feel like they feel like they're at home. Like I've had a couple of clients that say that to me, like, oh, you just make me feel so comfortable. You make me feel so welcoming. You're so knowledgeable on what's going on. You know, like you've grown my hair back. I don't know what, you know, what you was doing or what you used, but you know, like I feel like it's about maintaining your, you know, your reputation, really. You know, like for me, I would say you just have to be in tune with somebody that's in your head, you know? Like, so if you're not in tune with the person, sometimes that will reflect. So, yeah, like it's an experience, you know? Like I care, you know? Like for me, it's just not about the money. Yeah. You know, it's not about the money. It's about what we gonna do to get your hair to grow, and how we gonna take care of your hair, and how we're gonna keep it and maintain it, not just for the moment. It's not just the moment, it's the relationship that we're building with each other. So even if I don't do your hair anymore, we still have that relationship where you can call me, or I can call you and you can ask me something, or if you want to venture off and come back in, you can. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the relationship, you know. Like I feel like that's what sets me apart. I am the type of person that builds relationship with people. You know, like build relationships. I care. Like I build relationships with people. Like my clients that I have been my clients since I started. You know, I would say about 70. I would say about, I would even say 65% of my clients have been clients that I've had since I was an assistant. And I would say about 30% of my clients are clients that were the people that I were assisting under. They were their clients. And you know, like I said, you know, you have to become uncomfortable to grow. So the stylists that I have worked with, you know, they've grown. They've gone to different levels in their career. So of course, you know, that's just how it works. You pass clients down, and eventually it's like, oh, she's the assist for my client, you know. I can continue to grow with her, like, you know, and they just kind of come over to me. It's like, hey, girl, how you doing? I ain't seen you in 10 years. And she was like, I heard you was still doing hair, you know, and they just know that from me being who I was when I was a co-stylist, you know, and now it's like, oh, you a stylist. Now I seen you grow. I know who you learned from, you know, like, because they were going to them. So it's like, I know what kind of skills you have. So, like I say, I think what sets me apart is I care. You know, like I care about the maintenance and the healthiness of your hair.
I remember you said that you don't do locks, like not anymore.
I don't do them anymore. Like I said, I started off doing them, and you know, when you start to grow into your business and you start to build different clients and have different clientele, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. You can't serve two masters. That's what I'll say. You can't serve two masters, and you have to make a decision on what you're gonna offer. If I make majority of my bulk of my money doing shampoo styles, cuts, colors, natural hair, you know, some type of way, I'm gonna have to filter out like doing locks and braids, because that's something that may take 5 to 6 hours to do. When I can do, you know, a shampoo silk press every hour, 1 hour, and, you know, make more money. So, it was definitely a business decision that I had to take that out of my schedule. I had to take locks and braids out of my schedule. And, you know, I don't miss it. I don't miss it. it was just a business decision, really. You know, like I wouldn't even know how else to label it, but it was just a business decision.
Okay. Understood. Because you definitely don't want to go through this.
I'm saying, you know, that's gonna take about 3 or 4 hours, and it's kind of like when you can go to a loctician, someone that specializes in that, and they finish it in 2 hours, and then you in here with me for 5 or 6 hours. It's kind of like, and I expect you to pay me this, and it's like I couldn't look at her, and she charged less. You know, you got to make a decision. Yeah, you have to make a decision. What's work smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder. Exactly. So that's
okay. So I remember you said that the transition with going to the healthy route was to get women out of wearing weave and get them wearing their natural hairstyle. So what do you feel like, as far as in our culture, what did that happen that when women started to just stick with weave?
I don't know. I'm lying. It came with the media culture. It came with Instagram. It came with Instagram, and it came with Facebook, and it came with, you know, what I call it is event hair. It came with us seeing Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and Lil' Kim and whoever else in whatever era. Like, like how they get their hair like that? Like how she get her hair pink and she still got her hair like this? How she do this and how she do that? And, you know, eventually us as people, we're curious. We're gonna investigate and we're gonna figure out how they got it done. You know, and what I call, like I said, I call that event hair, or that's like special effects hair. That's something that they're just, you know, they're just wearing for the moment. You're not going home and sleeping in that and doing all that. That's just for the moment and the picture. Like that's not something that they're basing their whole life off of. I can't speak for everybody, but for, you know, for people that I know, like it's just
for a moment.
It's for a moment. It's for a moment. It's not meant to, I'm gonna wear my hair like this all the time. I'm a glue and melt this, you know, across my head all the time. And then, you know, like, and then after they do that for so much, and then they're coming to me like, my hair is falling out. You know, any too much of something is bad. You know, like, or I wouldn't necessarily say bad, but any too much of something, you know, can cause problems. You know, like, and especially something that's not yours, you know, that's artificial, just like our food and everything, boxed foods, you know, like when you start to eat too much of it, that's when you start to see these people on these shows, like my 600-pound life, you know, like that. So like with anything, you have to do it in moderation.
Balance.
It's about balance. It's about, and I also think it's about loving you for who you are. You know, like we look at these different things on social media, we look at these different people, and it kind of like makes us feel like we should have this or we should have that, but nobody can put a time limit or, you need to be doing this or you need to be doing that on your journey because it's yours, and they would never understand that. You get what I'm saying? So you have to be in tune with self. You have to love yourself, and I feel like you have to be right on the inside, and that's where it starts first. Because don't get me wrong, like I still do natural weaves, like I'm into natural weaves, and like I tell my clients, like that's extra credit. You get what I'm saying? Like that's just not something that we gonna put in your hair to cover it up because your hair breaking off. No, you know, like that. No, that's something that is like, I'm gonna go to a wedding and I want something a little different. You know, it's like extra credit. You know, like I'm going to a party, I want something different. I want to do this, I want to do that. It's not something that I'm telling you, let's do this, and you stay in it 5 or 6 months. No way. Like no way, you can't do that. Like let's enhance your natural beauty. That's what I'm about. That's what I like. Like let's add to. Let's not take away from it and put something on top of it. Change you up completely where you don't even look like yourself. So I mean, you know, no shade to the people that do extensions and melts and lace and everything, because I love it. You know, when I see it, I'm like, that's cute. You know, like I probably could do that, but you know, that's just not me. That's just not my personality. That's just not where.
Now that's real because like you definitely are helping to change the dynamic of what beauty is. Natural beauty. Definitely it needs to come back.
Yes. Like we need to remember what we look like. You know, like I think that's what people are forgetting, like what we really look like.
Exactly.
You know, like you know, us as people, we come in different shapes, shades, sizes. You know, like we just need to be happy with ourselves. Everybody's not supposed to be the same. That's how I feel. Like,
that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. I had a mentor that always say, we be out a million sperm cells,
Yeah.
to the egg.
Yes.
So it's like, you make out in first place. You got something special to do here.
Yes.
Yes. You tapped in.
Yes. You have to definitely tap in. It's just like, I heard somebody say, people dying that ain't even lived before. You know what I'm saying? Like, people doing things and they ain't even lived yet. You 15, 14, maybe even 10, thinking that you need this, or going in your mama's bathroom, messing with her stuff, and doing this, and you ain't even lived yet. You ain't even let yourself grow enough yet to even figure out who you are. And that's what I took from that saying. Like, people dying that didn't even live before yet. Like, you rushing to the finish line already. Like, you're doing something that you don't really even need.
That's
like, we can do this, we can take care of this part of your hair, we can start doing these treatments and get you to where you really want to be at naturally. But it's all about a mindset. It's all about your mindset. Really, you just have to be strong with self. Like, you have to be in touch, in tune.
Yeah, preach it, yo.
That's how I feel.
That's real.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. Like, definitely, it's an experience that.
Yeah, that's why I say, when you come to me, it's a healthy hair experience.
Yeah.
It's definitely an experience. You're gonna always leave with something, even if it's hair care tips, advice, or thoughts, anything. You're gonna always leave with something, even if it's a shift in your energy or a shift in your attitude. Like, you're gonna always leave with something when you come to see me. Like, my attitude and I'm pretty much the same. Like, my energy is pretty much the same. Like, I don't treat anybody different. I don't want my clients to think I ever treated anybody different. The same way I may do you, I may do another person. The same attention I give you, I give another person. It is clients that I have gotten closer with over the years. But like I said, me as a person, I build relationships with people. So all of my clients, I have different relationships with them. So,
Yeah.
I
feel it. That's definitely dope. That's definitely dope. So, what's your best, before we get out of here, what's your best hair care tip? You got one.
Get your ends trimmed. Get your ends trimmed. That is my number one hair care tip. Keep your ends trimmed and keep your hair hydrated. With natural hair, the most important thing is hydration. A lot of us lack moisture. And when people don't know that when we lack moisture, they like, oh, my hair nappy, or I'm this, or I'm that. And it's like, no, that's an easy fix. Like, we just need to build that moisture content up. Oh, my hair breaking off, my hair doing this, that's an easy fix. You need to just come in every 6 weeks and get your hair trimmed. And as far as trims, what I tell my clients is I trim hair as needed. You can't really put a time limit on when you should do your treatments, when you should do your trims, when when you should do these things to your hair. As you come and you get your maintenance, we will check that every time, and like I said, that would be the biggest thing. Trims, hydration, and make sure you're wrapping your hair with a silk scarf, not satin, not satin people. Yeah. Silk scarf, silk pillowcases, silk scarves, silk, mulberry silk, just all silk, no satin. Yes, wow. It makes a big difference. Yeah. It's just like anything, like when you put stuff in it, you rub cotton or something on your skin, it's like, oh, that's kind of rough. You don't want to do that. You want to treat your hair like royalty. You want to put silk on it because it's already delicate. So you want to just make sure that you're giving it that extra protection. So like I said, trims, treatments, silk scarves. Those are the three main things that you need to survive this natural hair. This natural hair journey. That's the three things that you need. And you need a stylist. You need a master cosmetologist, a beautician, a stylist, whatever you want to call it. You need someone to take care of your hair. You need someone to give you that TLC and to tell you, like, hey, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Like, I can tell, and everything comes out of your hair. I can tell when my clients have not been wrapping their hair. I can tell when they just been laying on it doing like this. I can just tell because it's just like with teeth. When you go to the dentist, they can tell they can tell everything. It's just like when anything's the same thing. I can tell. Like I can tell when you're not drinking enough water because your scalp is like skin. If you constantly shedding and your skin and your scalp is constantly flaking, it's like let's up your water intake and then let's see how that goes instead of like just going straight into like, oh, I need to go get some medicine, or I need to go do this, or I need to go do that, because like I said, anything that you intake comes out in your hair. Yeah, like if you're gonna see it in your hair and your nails first.
Wow.
Yeah, you are. You definitely are.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Whatever, anything, any extracurricular activities you do, anything, it's gonna come out. You know, you're either gonna smell it because it's coming out of your pores. You know, you're gonna smell it.
Yeah, I would think it's sweat. Right?
Yeah.
They would say your hair is dead.
Yeah, but you're sweating. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's your odor, your body odor, like how you smell, like, you know, your pheromones, all that. Like, you know, you can smell, you know, you just know, like, you would know. It's like you need to start adding some more water into your diet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's the same concept. You know, like, you know how kids is like, you drunk too much soda today. Like, I can tell, look at you, like, you know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Wow.
Trims, hydration, silk scarves. Find you someone that knows natural hair, that knows what they're doing. Take care of it. You have to find the right person. And it has to be, you know, right for you. You know, like it has to work out with you and how you feel and your energy. So,
that's real. That's real. Key tips for healthy hair. So
Yes.
my next question is, what are some causes, or how can you tell hair is unhealthy and damaged? You know, and what can they do to? Well, you just answered that. Really.
Yeah. Well, like I said, flakiness.
Flakiness.
I can tell if you're saying how I can really tell with my natural people is a lot of my natural clients wear their hair just curly, just you know, just wet and go. What I tell them is, if you're going through your hair and you snag, you need a trim. You know, like you may not wear your hair straight, but you still need to come in and get it, you know, washed down, shampooed down, so we can trim it and see what's going on with it, like a reshape. You get what I'm saying? So you just, like I said, the most important thing is your hairstylist needs to be like your doctor or your dentist. Or you know, like that's just somebody that you need. Even if you go see them once a month, it's just like self-care. Like it's a routine type of thing. Just like you go get your, like women go get their nails done. You get like it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Wow. Why Miley Hair is a whole experience.
It is an experience. It definitely is.
You're knowledgeable. You're definitely inspiring. Yes. I know you're good at it. I didn't see the pictures. You're really good at what you do.
Yes.
That's what's up. Well, Ykelia, appreciate you for coming by Constantly Create Studios. This wraps up the full interview.
Yes.
Most definitely. We will have you again.
Yes. Thank you for having me now.
Most definitely. But in you know, a couple months down the road, get an update of where you at, how things are going, you know, and keep pushing this content.
Definitely.
Well, appreciate you again.
Okay.
We'll catch you next time.
Yes, sir. We done.
We done.
Yeah.